Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason, and I'm really happy you're here with us today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julia, and yes, welcome. If you're listening right now, that means you want to improve your English, and that's already a great first step.
Absolutely. Today's episode is very special because we're talking about something many English learners struggle with.
Yes, that feeling when you know English words, but when you want to speak, your mind goes blank.
Exactly. You understand English, you study grammar, you learn vocabulary, but speaking feels hard.
And sometimes you think, why can't I speak fluently? Is my brain not good at English?
If you've ever felt that way, don't worry. You are not alone. And more importantly, there is nothing wrong with your brain.
That's right. Today's topic is called Unlock Your Fluent English Brain. Because fluency is not magic. It's a skill you can train.
In this episode, we'll help you understand how your brain learns English, why speaking feels difficult, and how you can start thinking and speaking more naturally.
And don't worry, we'll keep everything simple, clear, and beginner-friendly.
So relax, take a deep breath, and let's start unlocking your fluent English brain.
Let's begin!
So Julia, let's start with a simple question. When people hear the word fluent, what do they usually think?
Most learners think fluency means perfect grammar, a big vocabulary, and speaking without any mistakes.
Yes, and that idea actually scares a lot of people.
Exactly. But the truth is, fluency is not about being perfect.
A fluent English brain is a brain that can communicate ideas easily, even with simple words.
You don't need difficult vocabulary. You don't need long sentences. You just need to express your meaning clearly.
That's a great point. Fluency is more about flow, not grammar rules in your head.
For example, if someone says, I go market yesterday, we still understand the meaning, right?
Yes, we do. The sentence isn't perfect, but the communication works.
And that's fluency, being understood, not being perfect.
Another important part of a fluent English brain is thinking in English, not translating.
When you translate in your head, your brain works slower.
But when you think directly in English, even with simple thoughts, your speaking becomes faster and more natural.
So, a fluent English brain is trained to use simple English automatically, without fear.
And the good news is, this kind of brain can be trained by anyone.
Yes, no special talent needed, just the right habits and mindset.
And in the next part, we'll talk about why your brain feels stuck when you try to speak English.
If that sounds familiar, keep listening. You'll understand yourself much better.
All right, Julia, now let's talk about a problem many learners face. Why your brain feels stuck when speaking English.
Oh yes, Jason, I know this one well. You can know all the words, all the grammar, but when it's time to speak, it feels like your brain just freezes.
Exactly. And there are a few main reasons for this. The first one is fear of making mistakes.
Yes, many learners worry, what if I say something wrong? So they stop before even starting.
And that fear slows down your brain. Instead of speaking naturally, you're thinking too much about being perfect.
Another reason is overthinking grammar. People think, should I say I go or I went? And by the time they decide, the moment to speak has passed.
Exactly. And there's also translating from your native language. If you think in your first language and then translate, it slows your brain, and your speaking feels unnatural.
Right. And don't forget lack of speaking practice. If you only read or listen but never speak, your brain is not used to producing English.
So these things together create a stuck brain. But here's the good news. It can be trained.
Yes. Once you understand why it happens, you can start unlocking your fluent English brain with the right methods.
And in the next part, we'll talk about the mindset shift you need to train your brain, not just memorize words.
That's the part that really changes everything. Your listeners are going to love it.
All right, Julia. Now that we know why our brain feels stuck, let's talk about the mindset shift that can unlock fluent English.
Yes. Many learners think, I need to memorize thousands of words or grammar rules, but that's actually not the most effective way to speak naturally.
Exactly. Memorizing lists of words or rules only works for a short time. Your brain doesn't learn to use English automatically. It just stores information.
And that's why many learners feel nervous when speaking. They know the words, but their brain can't produce sentences quickly.
So the shift is this. Train your brain to think in English, not just memorize it.
For example, instead of memorizing, I am going to the market. You practice saying it in real situations like thinking I'm hungry, I go market in your head, speaking it out loud when you pretend to order food, or shadowing a simple English podcast.
Yes, and it's not about being perfect. It's about getting your brain used to producing English automatically.
Think about how children learn their first language. They don't memorize rules. They listen, repeat, practice, and slowly start speaking naturally.
Exactly. So if you want a fluent English brain, stop trying to memorize everything. Instead, train your brain with simple, daily practice.
And the good news is, it doesn't take hours a day, just consistent practice. Even 10 to 15 minutes daily can make a huge difference.
In the next section, we'll talk about daily habits that can unlock fluent thinking in English, so listeners can start training their brain every day.
Yes, this part is very practical. I'm excited to share it.
All right, Julia, now that we understand the mindset shift, let's talk about daily habits that actually train your brain to think in English.
Yes, these are small, simple things, but if you do them consistently, they make a huge difference.
The first habit is thinking in English during your day. For example, when you wake up, instead of thinking, try thinking, I feel good this morning. Today will be great.
Exactly. Even short thoughts count. You don't need full sentences. Just start small. Like when you see a cup of coffee, think, I drink coffee. It's hot and nice.
The second habit is talking to yourself in English. You can describe what you're doing. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm getting ready for the day.
It might feel a little funny at first, but it works. Your brain learns to produce English automatically instead of translating.
The third habit is shadowing. This means listening to English, podcasts, short videos, or songs, and repeating exactly what you hear.
Yes. Even if your pronunciation isn't perfect, shadowing trains your brain to think and speak at the same time.
And don't forget reading aloud. Pick simple English sentences, read them out loud, and try to feel the rhythm and flow.
All of these habits don't need a lot of time. Even 10 to 15 minutes a day can make your brain faster and more confident in English.
Exactly. And if you do these consistently, you'll notice that speaking English becomes more natural. Your brain starts thinking in English without overthinking.
In the next part, we'll talk about common mistakes that block fluency, so listeners can avoid them while practicing these habits.
Yes, that's a very important step for beginners. All right, Julia, now let's talk about common mistakes that stop learners from becoming fluent.
Yes, Jason. Many learners don't even realize they're making these mistakes.
The first one is waiting to be perfect. Some people think I must speak without mistakes, so they don't speak at all.
Exactly. And that's a big problem. Making mistakes is part of learning, and the faster you speak, the faster you improve.
The second mistake is avoiding speaking. You can study for years, but if you never speak, your brain won't learn to produce English automatically.
Another common mistake is learning without practice. Some learners only read, write, or listen, but never try using English in real life.
And finally, many learners compare themselves to others. Oh, she speaks so well. I can't do that. This stops you from trying and lowers your confidence.
So the key is practice without fear, make mistakes, and focus on your own progress.
Exactly. And now that we know what mistakes to avoid, in the next part, we'll give listeners a simple daily practice challenge to unlock their fluent English brain.
Yes, something practical they can start today.
All right, Julia. Now it's time for something fun. A simple practice challenge for our listeners.
Yes, this is something you can start today, even if you have only 10 minutes.
Here's the challenge. Pick one small activity in your day and speak about it in English. For example, while making breakfast, say out loud, I am making eggs. I add salt. I like my breakfast.
Or if you're walking outside, describe what you see. I see a tree. The sun is bright. Birds are singing.
Exactly. Don't worry about mistakes or grammar. The goal is to train your brain to think and speak in English naturally.
And do it every day, even for just 5 to 10 minutes. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to speak fluently.
Yes, think of it like a workout for your English brain. Small steps every day lead to big results.
So listeners, start today and notice how your brain slowly starts unlocking your fluent English.
In the next part, we'll summarize everything and give a final motivation and call to action. All right, Julia, we've covered a lot today. Let's quickly summarize for our listeners.
Yes. First, we learned that fluency is not perfection. It's about communicating and being understood.
Then we talked about why your brain feels stuck: fear, overthinking, translating, and lack of practice.
We also shared the mindset shift. Stop memorizing. Start training your brain to think in English.
And don't forget the daily habits: thinking in English, talking to yourself, shadowing, and reading aloud.
We also discussed common mistakes to avoid, like waiting to be perfect or comparing yourself to others.
Finally, we gave a simple daily practice challenge, just a few minutes a day, describing your activities in English.
Remember, listeners, fluency is a journey, not a race. Start small, practice every day, and your brain will naturally become more fluent.
Yes, and if you liked this episode, make sure to subscribe to Easy English Talk, practice these tips, and listen to more episodes to keep improving.
You've got this. Keep speaking, keep practicing, and unlock your fluent English brain.
Thanks for listening, everyone. See you in the next episode.
Bye-bye. Keep learning and stay confident.